Hello, welcome to today's psychic monologue of grab the mic and speak. All right. Oh my gosh, even just saying grab the mic and speak in my psychic vision out here in the world, I can see people going, "Oh my gosh, but grabbing the microphone and saying something really just makes me nervous. What am I going to say? I don't have anything to say. Or I have a lot to say. How am I going to structure what I say?" And the most important thing is just to grab the mic and start speaking. Literally, figuratively, however that shows up in your world, but in 2023, we are having to grab the mic and speak. Now, we are so used to seeing memes out here that have to do with like, drop the mic. You say something powerful and then you drop the mic. Okay. Well, we need to like grab the mic now. And we need to speak and we need to be heard. And I wanted to share in this monologue today just some insights that I've been having or that I have had through the course of time about why some people are scared to grab that microphone and bring it up to their voice and say something. All right. Now, as a visual, I am going to grab this mic. Boop, I took it out of its stand. Okay. And I'm going to grab the mic because when you see someone grabbing the mic, there's a different level of authority, isn't there? Now, when you started watching this video, my microphone was in the microphone stand, right? Just like this. And it was just sitting right here in front of me. Well, I'm not holding anything. I'm just sitting here having a conversation with you. It doesn't seem as intimidating or it doesn't seem as intrusive because it just is like, oh, I'm just casually having this conversation. Yet when someone actually then puts a microphone in their hand, the level of authority changes. Did you notice that? There's something about us that we have been programmed or conditioned into society that when someone's holding a microphone, they must have some power or they must have some level of authority that maybe we ourselves don't have because they're holding this super powerful tool that allows their voice to be projected and heard. Well, if you're running an insecurity of being heard or having your voice projected, then I can see how it may be a little intimidating when someone grabs the mic and says something that we sometimes get smaller in ourselves. Do you know what I mean? It's like when someone else comes out on a stage or on a video like this and you grab the mic, we automatically project out and go, that person knows something that I don't know. That person has authority. That person has a confidence I don't have. That person is willing to put thoughts and feelings and ideas into words that can be shown to the public. Oh, I may not feel like I have that ability. And we start judging ourselves against other people who have the mic, who are speaking. We compare. Oh, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to say that. I wouldn't be able to look that way on camera or speak like that from a microphone standpoint. Oh, I would never be able to do that. Well, why wouldn't you? Or maybe you already are doing that. But what I can say is that as we are moving into the year 2023, which is the year of the rabbit, we're already halfway through January, okay, which is crazy. We have to step up. We have to step up with our voice. We have to step up and grab the mic because if we don't, then the people who grab the mic and speak, who don't necessarily have a ethical message or an authentic message, or it's a message of hate and doom or unethical power, the only way you can go up against that type of energy is for more people who are in the light, who are in the ethics, who are in the spiritual advancement of self to grab the mic and begin speaking and saying something because that sends out a lot of energy in the collective consciousness that begins to dismantle, honestly, the voices who no longer need to be heard because those voices have been hurting people in society instead of helping the people in society. Because right now, everybody has a platform. Everyone can speak from whatever platform they want to speak from. Anyone can speak from any level of opinion that they want to speak from. Anyone can speak from any type of ideology or belief system they want to speak from. But I'm going to say right now, there's a lot of things that are being spoken right now that are damaging our society instead of evolving our society, especially with kids. Okay. The indoctrinations that are happening, and it's forcing parents and the people alike to sit back and go, whoa, how is this whole conversation getting off track? Well, it's because the ones who have the microphone, the ones who are willing to stand up and speak, the ones who are willing to say something, those are the ones that are heard. But if we ourselves are not grabbing the mic in our lives and speaking and saying something, then it's harder for us to have influence. It's harder for us to create a wave of change. So we have to make sure we know what our message is. What are we speaking about? And sometimes we don't know what our message is until we start speaking. And then eventually we find our message because we're finding something within ourselves that needs to be heard, that needs to be spoken from on a platform, just so we can maybe see ourselves and what we stand for. So, for example, I've battled feeling like I could speak my truth since childhood. I mean, can you relate to that? I mean, I'm quite sure you probably have felt the same way. Okay. We're all human. We're all fighting to be heard somewhere. Okay. And somewhere within childhood, we feel like we haven't been heard. So we grow up into these adult bodies, but we still run inner child fears that our voice doesn't matter or our voice hasn't been heard. And I know for me, growing up with a sibling, an older sister, she ran a different type of emotional pattern than I ran. So therefore, she was getting a lot of her voice heard because of how she used her emotions. So in my consciousness back then, to me, my sister had all the attention. Even if she didn't want the attention, she had the attention because she was running it emotionally. Whereas with me, if I calmed my emotions and I was under the radar in those emotions, well, when it would come time for me to speak up, especially if I was speaking up against my sister or things that were happening in our sibling relationship, then my voice was put down. My voice was, "Oh, Shelby, that doesn't matter. Oh, Shelby, you're blowing this out of proportion. Oh, Shelby, I don't want to hear it." Or, "Oh, Shelby, you've said that before." It was those dynamics. And being a very auditory person, then my hearing would hear that all the time. So then growing up, I just never was getting the right install of energy to me that what I was saying mattered or that I was heard. And because of that, and because of other generational mistakes that I was going to have to clear up, then I created a life that made me have to fight to be heard because of the types of relationships that I brought into my life. They were relationships where I was never heard. So I was always fighting to be heard until I wasn't. Because then I finally was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm worth being heard, you know? And then I would bring forward a different message that was worthy of being heard. But I had to shift out of myself that I was creating things for me to be heard on so I could personally heal something in myself to where I could finally get to the bigger message of, well, what do I really feel like needs to be heard out here? Okay. And not what do I want to say because me, myself, and I are running a bunch of insecurities. So I'm going to jump on the nearest bandwagon platform and say something just so I can go out here and have some attention and be heard. It's been a very much lifelong process and journey of my voice, which it is for everybody. And some people are way more natural at getting their voice than others. Other people have no problem speaking. Other people have a lot of problems speaking. And then other people are just like, I don't even really give a rip if I say anything or not. But what I want to say as we're moving into 2023 is we have to look at ourselves differently now. We have to look at ourselves in our personal lives, in our professional lives, and in our lives of influence to figure out what in your world is worthy to be spoken about right now. What truth needs to come to the surface and be exposed? And is it the right time for that truth to be exposed so it can be seen, so it can be heard, so it can be transmuted? Now, what I'm finding are people bringing things up in their home environments, their work environments, with the relationships they have in their world right now. Because people are jockeying for position, because they're jockeying for themselves of an inner struggle that is happening that is creating the need for a voice, for something to be spoken about, for something to be heard. Now, here's what happened last year in my life, which was June. I think it was June when this happened. Told this story before. I'm going to say it again. We live in a HOA community, and we have this really gargantuous amenity center and pool that had a pool committee on it, right, to run to do things with the pool. But because this community is a newer community, the builders were really running the amenity center and taking care of the pool. And then there was a pool committee, but there wasn't a lot of things that could happen with the builders still being in control, right? Because it really wasn't the homeowners yet. Lo and behold, the builders move out, and then the homeowners have to take over the committees. And the person who was the pool chair of the pool committee at the time was really wanting to be heard, but the way this person was being heard was by creating conflict, creating dissension, creating negative posts on social media about our community, about our HOA board, about our management company. And it was really sending a shockwave and fire of dissension through our community to the point where in the summer, people were just complaining about the pool. People were pooping in the pool. Like things were just happening around this pool. And if you look at who was the leader on top of that situation, well, they had a lot of personal issues. I found out that their dad at one point ran a pool company, and this person never felt like they were equal to the dad running this pool company. So this adult who had kids that chose to be the chair of the pool committee takes their struggle, takes their inner child and runs all of that emotion through our community, which ended up tainting so much of what was going on in our community. Well, I finally decided enough is enough. This is our community. I live in this community too. I pay my HOA dues just like everybody else. I want to go to the pool and I'm tired of all this negative Nelly. And if there's not someone who picks up the mic and says something, then we're going to just continue to have this fire spin out of control. So I decided to go to a board meeting that had to do with the pool. And this particular person who had been on the pool committee of the pool chair for 5 years was there. And I was sitting back and I was watching and I was observing. And I was like, okay, this person is creating more fires, creating dissension, creating more emotional turmoil. And I'm tired of it. So, you know what? Fine. If this person isn't going to step up, I'm going to step up. Because they were asking this person, do you want to be in charge of the pool committee again? Do you want to be the pool chair? And they were running their emotional pattern, not giving an answer. I finally stepped up and said, hey, if this person isn't going to do it, I'll step in. Well, lo and behold, I got voted in to be the pool chair. I grabbed the mic and said something because I was done watching this other person utilize their platform to feed their emotional negativity from something that none of us were involved in her life with her dad and his history with pools and her lack of feeling like she's heard because she's never done any self-healing, you could tell. And I was tired of that being poison in our community. So I knew if I grabbed the mic, if I said something, if I stepped into a role that I didn't even want to step into because it's a volunteer role, I don't get paid for that. I knew that I was going to have to brunt the energy of our pool and everything with the neighborhood but it was something that was worth it to me because I knew everybody else that I was talking to in our neighborhood were tired of what was happening. So I thought, well, with my level of knowledge, with my skill set, I can go in, I can get on social media, I can begin making the changes. I started working with the homeowners board and really making a difference of what needed to happen with our community pool. And even over these last several months, we've been having a huge renovation with our pool that was never getting done before, and now it's getting done, and I'm posting the updates on social media, and we have such a good response from the community. Thank you, Shelby, thank you to the board, thank you to the committee, thank you for letting us know where our HOA dues are going. I haven't been to the pool in several years. I'm so excited to take my family this summer. I'm excited to see these positive changes. Thank you for the updates on social media. Because of your updates on social media, it's making me want to, get involved in the community and go to our amenity center and go to the pool. That's why I grabbed the mic. That's why I said something. That's why I volunteered, because it was my time. It was my time to grab the mic and say something. And now Diamond is barking. She's saying something. That's right, Diamond. Our dog is speaking. Okay. It's time for us to have a voice. Where in your world are you getting stronger with your voice? Where are you getting more confidence to grab the mic and say something because it matters in the ecology of your world? That's what I want you to think about, because we have to begin doing that in our community, in our ecology, in our family, with our children, with our spouses and significant others, with our coworkers, with our social media. What are we speaking about? And does it matter? Or are we just complaining and blaming? Or are we speaking to make a difference? So grab the mic and say something. And if you are scared to death to say something and your knees are shaking and you don't even have a microphone in your hand, you're just trying to say a truth to someone, well, then practice saying the truth before you speak the truth, because then it'll flow out of you even better. Even if you have to go buy a microphone and hold it just so you can go through the visual reframe of not shaking, holding a microphone and sitting in front of a camera just like I am, and looking into the camera and speaking what you want to speak, and then stop the video and watch it back and see yourself giving the message helps a lot in your confidence. Because out here, we're finding that the time for us to sit back and pretend that nothing is happening out here in the world and that other people are taking care of it, well, that's not so much the case anymore. And we're finding we have to speak up to take care of things for ourselves now. And we're all being led to grab the mic and speak, and not grab the mic, say something, drop the mic as if, woohoo, I just said something, but make a difference in what you're saying where you're emotionally aligned, that after you say it, you don't feel like you have to drop the mic. You keep holding the mic so you can keep speaking. Which leads me to a book I've been reading that says, Don't Drop the Mic by T.D. Jakes, that was referred to me. And I haven't even finished reading the whole book, but it's so funny that today I felt like today's the day I need to grab the mic and say something and share the energy of what I've been experiencing in my life to give me little bouts of confidence and influence in my world, because that's the influence and leadership that people are looking for, who are not at a position right now to do it for themselves. So, when is your time to grab the mic and say something? And with that said, I'm going to end the monologue today because Diamond is out back barking using her voice. She grabbed the dog mic and she's saying something. So until next week, y'all have a good one.